Well, for the past 2 weeks, we've introduced you to the finalist in the 2013 Georgia Farm Bureau Young Farmer Achievement Award. Well, today, Rick Treptow wraps up our series of profiles with a visit to Greene County, Georgia, where he spent the day with Charlie Sanders and his wife, Nancie.
Nancie, Brooke, Brianna, Caleb, and Charlie Sanders know how to run a dairy in a good year and in 2013. But how does any farmer cope with 54 inches of rain in 1 year? That's 54 inches. Well, Charlie said there are more dairy farm workarounds. It was the most rain ever on the farm, according to Nancie, whose grandfather started the dairy in 1950. Charlie and Nancie farm in partnership with her father, Barry, and her brother, Dustin Churchwell. Ryegrass was the first crop they needed for cow feed.
The biggest part of that was the cool weather. We couldn't get it to dry either because it was staying cool with the rain. Couldn't get it to wilt down enough for the baleage. And then also getting our sorghum planted for the summer. We ended up getting a bunch of rain around the time we needed to plant, and we couldn't plant, it was too wet.
Growing as much as possible is critical for dairymen, as it's the biggest farm cost.
We changed to another line.
In fact, 3/4 of their milk checks go for feed. Samples are always taken from fields before harvest of hay or any forage. The farm has 1,100 acres of forage that feeds the 420 head milking herd. At one point this summer, they had 40 cases of mastitis, double a normal year.
This year was probably the worst year that I remember of mastitis cases. And a lot was to do with the rain and humidity. We spent probably more money this year on mastitis medicines than we ever have.
Charlie is the farm's heifer and calf manager. He handles the artificial insemination, general health, and manages 5 employees. They would have normally lost at least all the milk from the mastitis cows.
But this year we have put in a pasteurizer. So that milk that comes out of these treaty cows and fresh cows, we're putting in that pasteurizer, and that's what we are feeding our calves now versus buying powdered milk.
The Maryland-Virginia Milk Cooperative, the buyer of their milk, has recognized the dairy for a 12-month Milk Quality Award. Nancie says there is pressure to make the family farm successful.
That it becomes more of a passion and an enjoyment and not so much pressure, and we just all step up to the plate and get whatever done that needs to be done.
They do have young children. Caleb looks like a potential farmer as he can now draw in the dirt. Charlie has helped provide 4-H and FFA show calves. 9-year-old Brooke will show her first animal.
And that's something that Charlie and I didn't do as children. I did participate in 4-H and did that throughout middle school and high school.
So for dairy family, getting away for Farm Bureau events is something they enjoy making time to do.
Nancie and I was on the committee 2 years ago, the Young Farmer Committee, and this year I was on the Dairy Commodity Committee. Sometimes you just got to find time, make time to go and try and make a difference. Learn more about the political aspects and how we can get with Farm Bureau to benefit the dairy farmers and just farmers in general.
And we're very blessed that Farm Bureau keeps us on top of things. I think especially it's become more obvious with us with things that are happening in our government.
I'm Rick Treptow for the Georgia Farm Monitor.